How do you bring people on board that are keepers, caretakers, caregivers of something that's really not manageable in the end? Marymount is a calling. It's a spiritual calling. One can come here with a lot of spiritual idealism about what it means to be here and what it will look like or be like. It was very easy to drop any spiritual idealism pretty quickly. You can't separate the work part of working with elements from the etheric and spiritual aspect of serving God. Marymount exists a little bit above and beyond the time-space spectrum. So one of the ways we make ourselves feel needed here is through work. You know, we flatter ourselves to think that it really needs us here, but it really doesn't. The elements don't. But we do. We come here and we play out this game, Baba's game, and we do work. Being here at Marymount is a little bit dreamlike anyway. There's an essence or a quality about Marymount. There's a very powerful spiritual atmosphere, and we all recognize it. We all feel it as part of what draws us here. I've always had a little bit of trouble with the term caretakers at Marymount because there's not a lot of taking that goes on. There's a lot of giving, but really the word keeping is appropriate. So I would like to think of ourselves as keepers of the spirit and the essence of Marymount. It's an incredibly difficult as well as rewarding place to be involved with. You know, the experiences that one has here is not just fleeting. It leaves something behind, footprints deep in our souls. There's that psychic tension that is always bearing down on the soul while you're here. It's quite easy to look behind oneself how we've mowed the grass or laid the water line or painted the side of the building or made the repair. But it's much more difficult and to feel fulfilled in where one journeys with that essence that is always bubbling up here, that is unwinding those sanskaras and shining light deep on the self. So the discovery of the self here is really the hard work.
Meher Baba stretches us farther than we ever would imagine or conceive that we can do that.
We can make our best efforts and put our very human efforts forward here. But you know, you never know how the consequences of that. And so that taught me a lot of personal detachment. It's one of the biggest lessons that I learned here at Marymount was my personal detachment from the outcome of things. It's not for the faint-hearted. I think the significance of Marymount is that it's a place to know God. So what do you do with that? I don't think you have to do anything. I think we have to be careful what we do, and that it's more about managing less rather than more, which can allow that essence, that etheric spiritual essence, that kind of intangible element to come through to give guidance. The real accomplishment, I think, is not only surviving it and the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into it, but looking back on the spiritual fulfillment and opportunity through spiritual service that we give here. That was the real reward. And that can never be taken away. So that was a wonderful opportunity. Yeah, I would do it again in a minute. No matter how much blood, sweat, and tears, as well as the rewards, because I think that our coming here was a gift. You are going to be required to try to manage the unmanageable.
And it takes not just dedication, hard work, it takes luck, and it takes Meher Baba being on your side in that moment.